It's crazy because you just don't see enough attention on some of the most important skills in the game, like closing out on shooters. These days, so many jump shooters are fouled because of poor closeouts, and it's just a perfect time to burn a defender. So if we can get good at this skill, we can get one step closer to becoming that lockdown defender. Let's check it out under the microscope. So the first and probably most important key is knowing your angles. I see way too many players close out directly at the shooter, which is natural. You are trying to bother their shot. Only thing is, you can only get so close without fouling if you close out straight on. So what we typically want here is to take an angle slightly to the side of them. So especially if they're about to shoot, you're not closing out right at them. Watch here how all these guys are actually ending up to the side of the shooter after the closeout.
From downtown.
That's typically what we want. Take that angle, reach with the arm more to the side, and now you're really able to bother that shot without them landing on your feet. Plus, if you take an angle the right way, you're able to dictate where the offensive player has to go. Like right here, Dort's forcing Robinson middle here, and then he squares his feet to force a tough shot. But if you're at an angle where you're not head on with them, feel free to be a bit more aggressive with it, like right here. Also, practice jumping after the shooter does, if you even jump at all. One, jumping on a contest isn't even necessary many times. If you can bother that shot and get in their airspace without it, you might as well keep both feet on the ground so you're ready for what's next. Make sure you're able to time their jump. So here, Lowry jumps before Tatum, so he easily gets him on that flyby pump fake. But here, Dort waits till after the shooter is fully into that shot to leave the ground, which takes away that possibility of being out of the play due to a pump fake. Because remember, we're not really trying to block that shot, we're just trying to make it harder. Also, I'd much rather you undershoot that closeout, then have a late contest, than running out of control of the shooter. This is a really good job here of slowing down, reading what LeBron's gonna do, and then contesting once he gets into that shot. Same thing here. If they make a shot here and there, we'll live with that. But you can't stop yourself if you attack with 100% speed and end up fouling them or getting blown by. That's just a dead mission. Next is just knowing the scouting report. Sometimes we don't need to close out all the way because they're not a shooter.
Gorgie for three.
Sometimes we have to run them off the three-point line, and we'll live with them driving into our help defense. Every situation is going to be different, so this is yet another thing we have to consider. I see way too many younger players close out the same way on every player, every play. And this is why it's also important to watch their body language as you close out. If they're not even looking at the rim like Kemba here, you don't have to close out all the way like Van Vliet does. But he does, he gets blown by, and it's an and one. Another thing I like to emphasize is keeping that hand high or at least ready as you close out. So if they do shoot it, the contest is already there. Plus, them seeing your hand up as you're closing out can take away some of their peace of mind. And this mental component is the primary reason why I'm big on always contesting, even if it's way late. Because psychologically, even though he's not going to block or even alter this shot, on that next shot, he knows that closeout's coming. So these are just the main keys. There's a lot to this that I didn't even go over, but I'll talk about that in the future. Go out, practice this skill just like you would ball handling or shooting or whatever, and see how it goes next time you're on the court. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at ByAnyMeansBasketball for a lot more.